It's that time of the week again where we discuss matters farming, how you can possibly make your profits from what you are growing. Today we are at Zambezi and we will be featuring Hydroponics Africa, an initiative that was started by Peter Chege a few years ago. But today we will be talking to Fred Ulo, who will be telling us the different types of soilless farming and its advantages. Welcome to Hela Mchangani. Thank you very much, Fred, for joining us on today's show. Hela Mchangani, it's all about making money from the soil, from the shamba. But today we'll be focusing on soilless farming, interestingly. And it's amazing to see that the things that can grow on the soil can also grow without the soil. So we'd really love to hear what you have to tell us about that. So kindly just tell us a bit about Hydroponics Kenya.
Okay, Hydroponics Africa / Kenya. We are doing hydroponics farming in Kenya and basically in Africa. And with hydroponics farming, we are entirely doing soilless farming without soil. We are growing crops using mineral nutrient solutions in water instead of soil.
Okay.
Yeah. So we produce different crops here without using soil, both fodder and vegetable production.
Wow. Yeah. So what inspired you, to start to decide to do soilless farming? Instead, you could have still grown all this with the soil. What led you to actually start all this?
Okay, hydroponics farming is resilient to climatic change, mainly the drought tolerant. Farmers are not cannot rely on rainfall. They are not sure of the rainfall initiation, rainfall duration, and rainfall termination. Therefore, with hydroponics farming, they can still do their farming throughout the year without relying on conventional rainfall. So the main reason why we started hydroponics farming is to solve the solution of drought tolerance or unreliability in rainfall pattern. We are not sure of the rainfall initiation, rainfall duration, and termination. And the other thing is also the limitation in arable land. There's a limitation in arable land whereby there's a high population in arable or potential areas. The other thing is to avoid completely soil-borne pests and diseases which are chronic to farmers who are doing soil farming.
Okay, wow. So here you're doing fodder. Let's talk about fodder. I have featured other farmers before who are doing fodder, and I've seen your system is a bit different. You're using different kind of trays. Just tell us a bit about how you actually grow your fodder here.
Okay, we grow fodder hydroponically, and the main type of fodder that we do produce here hydroponically is barley fodder. We prefer barley because of the high nutritional value of barley. Barley is nutritionally in terms of the crude protein and in terms of the fermentable energy. And the barley, we grow it here hydroponically, we have to consider some of the conditions, being the temperature and relative humidity. That's why we have to come up with a special fodder unit or the fodder structure for optimal sprout of barley. And the same barley, we sprout it on the photochemically treated trays. The photochemical treatment is the special treatment on the trays mainly to prevent mold and fungal growth. And the other thing is that the same fodder, we have to water it using the hydroponics nutrient solution, mainly to boost the amount of crude protein content on the barley fodder.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Can you use other seeds except barley? Because I've seen other farmers using other seeds as well.
So hydroponically, you can sprout other cereals. You can still sprout wheat. You can sprout oat. Other farmers are sprouting maize, sorghum, millet. But with barley, we prefer barley because of the nutritional value and the cost. And also, we don't want to compete with the major cereals that maybe farmers do source as food,
yes,
like maize.
Oh, yes, yes. So the cost of barley seeds is low compared to others. Okay. Would you say that the trays that, for example, the plastic trays I've seen that are being used before with holes under, would you say these ones are better than those ones, or what is the comparison?
So experimentally, we have even sprouted barley on the plastic trays. They are able to favor the culturing of mold and fungal growth. the plastic trays can favor mold and fungal growth, as compared to the photochemically treated aluminum trays that provide unfavorable condition for mold and fungal sprouting or growth.
Okay. So from once you put them in the tray, the barley seeds, how long do they take until they mature, ready for the...
So the duration taken differs as per the class of animal you want to feed. For the cattle or the ruminants, it takes only 7 days. For the pigs and rabbits, it takes 6 days. And for the poultry, it takes 4 days.
So in terms of nutritional value for your livestock, would you compare it to just them feeding on other types of fodder grown outside, like napier grass and the rest?
So nutritionally, as I said earlier, now the nutritional value to the animals, like for example for the cows, we have able to realize high milk production for the cows. Like for example, a cow that produces over 15 liters, you are able to increase the amount of milk production by between 1.5 to 2 liters per day for a period of 3 weeks feeding. And for the pigs, you are able to realize high growth rate. For example, you are able to attain 60 kgs for a period of 6 months for pigs. And for poultry, you are able to realize high laying percentage and high quality eggs. For example, the fodder contains high carotene content that increases the quality or the compact and deep yellow yolk.
During that time it is growing, do you add anything else except water for it to grow?
We water the fodder using the hydroponics nutrient solution. We do mix the hydroponics nutrient solution in water. It's a special kind of nutrient solution that's specially formulated, containing both macro and micro elements.
Where do you formulate it from?
So the hydroponic nutrient solution is made here.
Oh, you make it yourself?
That's the main reason why we started hydroponics farming. Initially, the nutrient solution was being imported from other countries. But since we were able to start formulating our nutrient solutions, therefore we started hydroponics farming and even training farmers.
Yeah, may I ask what the solution is made of?
Now maybe the key thing is that it contains all the nutritional elements that are required by the crop, both macro and micro elements. But now the formula is the secret of the company.
Oh, that's the secret of the company, of course. All right, I know we've talked about fodder, previous episodes. So really today I would also want to learn about the herbs. You said that you can grow your herbs and spices without the soil. How interesting is that? Could you kindly tell us a bit about how you do them?
So apart from fodder, you can also still produce your vegetables hydroponically.
Yes.
You can produce tomatoes, kales, cabbages, spinach, lettuce, celery, parsley, strawberries, all vegetable, both leafy, fruity, and even the tubers. We are producing them hydroponically.
Yeah.
And the key things that with crops, you have to provide them with a special inert media, kind of a media. Since you are not using soil, you have to identify an inert media that is able to anchor the roots of the crops, that is able to drain well, and also reserve the nutrient element that you are supplying to the crops, and also is able to drain well.
All right. So in this case, you are using what sort of
So we have
media?
different types of inert media here. We have got the lava rocks. We have got the lava rocks is also the pumice or the volcanic rocks. We have got the smoked rice husk, the coconut pit, the shiny river sand. You can also use the rock wool, styrofoam, pit foam, clay pellets.
Okay, I'm going to have to Google some of those, the ones you're talking about. But I've seen your lettuce is actually doing well, and you're using lava rocks. How does it work? You don't need even a little soil.
So the lava rocks here, as I said earlier, is able to reserve the nutrient solution. They're porous. In that, as you water your nutrient solution to the media, it's able to reserve. Therefore, the crops, the key thing that crops require is the nutrient elements. If they can be anchored, we are using whichever media, they can still grow.
Okay. So you mix the lava rocks, the nutrient solution?
No, we like, for example, here. We have taken this is the lava rocks.
Okay.
This is the lava rocks here. We put the lava rocks in these cups, and the cups have got the holes.
The holes.
The holes are aimed at allowing the nutrient solution to get into the media. Then eventually the roots will start sprouting. These roots are able now to absorb nutrient solution as you provide it now to the crop. So these lava rocks are just there to anchor the roots of the crops. not
Oh,
even to provide
not
any
even to
nutrient
provide.
element.
It's
They are
just to-
dormant. That's why we call them the inert media.
Oh, so you can actually use something else.
You can use something else, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the cups, do you make them yourselves? Like, and the holes, can someone do this at home?
So having different systems,
Yes.
we are the one who knows how to make the cups,
Yeah.
come up with the best system and model of the cups, and even the model of the growing profiles for as per the type of the crop you are growing. Yeah.
So this type of cup cannot actually work for all the crops?
Yeah. You have to identify a specific type of cup in terms of the size, diameter, and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for example, this can work for lettuce,
Strawberries.
yeah.
For the other herbs like celery, parsley, you have to identify another size of the
Another
cup. maybe.
size.
Yeah.
So the size of the cup matters as well.
Yeah. And even the length.
Okay. So of course, if someone wanted to get training from you, do you train people on how to do this?
So basically here at Hydroponics Africa, our main objective is to train farmers on hydroponics farming technology. After training, we do install the hydroponic systems to them. During installation, now we come up with a system that may be as per the farmer's request, and we do set up the whole system for the farmer. Yeah.
Wow. Now, growing this compared to growing in the soil, what would you say of the nutritional value of the vegetables?
Okay, for the vegetables, you realize that the hydroponics vegetables have got high growth rate. The growth rate here is 30 to 40% higher. They have got high yield. Yield is 3 to 4 times higher.
Wow.
And in terms of the nutritional value, they are highly nutritious. They have, the hydroponics crop doesn't develop the physiological antioxidants against the environmental stress, since you are providing everything to them optimally. And even the nutrient you are applying to these crops is usually in the simplest ionic form. So you find that the usability by the crops is higher. They are readily used by the crops, hence increasing growth rate and yield.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now, like for example, lettuce, I know, say for soft lettuce, it takes maybe 45 days to grow. Some others take 75 days to grow. As you compare to this, how long does it take to grow?
So hydroponically, for the lettuce, it takes only 5 weeks, maximum of 6 weeks, as compared to soil, where it takes to between 2.5 months to 3 months
Yes.
to be ready.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you have to do them in a greenhouse?
So you have to provide special conditions for the lettuce. They require optimal temperatures or a certain range of temperatures for best growth, certain range of relative humidity and all that. Yeah, so you have to control the conditions. And even in a controlled condition, you have prevented airborne pests and diseases, apart from preventing soil-borne pests and diseases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How about the water? Would you say I would use as much water as I would in the farm compared to here?
So hydroponically, we use 80 to 90% less water. Like for example, this system here, you'll only use 1,000 liters of water for a period of 6 weeks for the crops to be ready. As compared to soil, whereby in soil with this size of crops here, or this number of crops, you are able to use up between 7,000 to 8,000 liters of water till maturity.
Wow. Yeah. Well, okay. I would want to know how to make money out of this, because at the end of the day, as a farmer, I want to make money, you know? So if you're to make for me, say, one structure like this, or say just what you have here, yeah. How much would it cost me?
So it will depend with the geographical location of the farmer and maybe the type of crop that the farmer have chosen.
We'll still go to detail, like yeah. Lettuce. Yeah. Say, okay, so someone can actually grow them anywhere if you're doing a greenhouse.
Yeah, with a greenhouse, the main aim of a greenhouse is to raise the temperature relatively to be favorable for the crops. Yeah. In hotter and extremely hotter places, we won't use the greenhouse. So long as we can protect the environment, mainly to prevent the raindrops, maybe to dilute the nutrient solution that we are using here now.
Yeah, now before we come to the money as well, because of if someone did need a greenhouse, exposure to pests and insects, does it affect them here?
So hydroponically, you find that we have got minimal pest and disease control, the chemical pest and disease control mechanisms. Yeah. We are inventing a ways of which we control the pest. We can control the pest using the biological means and even the physical means, as you can see here. Yeah. This one is able to control the aphids, the other one the whiteflies, and this one you are able to control the alternaria blight.
Is there a simple makeshift of this that someone can actually do for themselves?
So there are different systems that we do put up for the farmers.
Yeah.
Have over 5 systems of lettuce production. This is one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this whole system would cost you how much?
So this system is an 8x6 greenhouse. 8x6 greenhouse, it will cost you between 70 to 80,000 for a whole setup. This system.
Am I sure to get my harvest at the end of the day and sell?
So with this system, you are able to grow at least 450 lettuce plants with a minimal market price, 40 shillings per plant. You are able to get at least between 19,000 to 20,000 per harvesting of 6 weeks.
Wow.
So within 3.5 months, you are able to recover your initial cost of installation. Yeah.
Okay, I see you have things like to trap the insects. Is this what you use to trap your insects?
So we are coming up with the biological and physical methods of pest and disease control. This one of them, as you can see here. This system that we have provided some of the attractive chemicals to attract this pest you are seeing inside here, and there's a glue here. Once the pests are attracted by the chemical, they stuck here. Yeah, and this one here can attract the aphids. Aphids only sees the blue color, and we have provided here the glue-like material, maybe for the aphids to stuck there. The other one attracts the white flies now. Yeah. So with this one, apart from even preventing the pests and diseases in your greenhouse, you are also able to monitor the severity of pests attack in your greenhouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, does this system require electricity in any sort of way?
So it depends on the system of crop production. Like this system here, we are using electricity. We have a pump there that pumps water from the reservoir as it supplies to the crops. So with that system, you have to use the electricity.
Yeah.
But other system doesn't require the electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just need to water them
Yeah,
by
you have
yourself.
to water manually, or we can connect the tank to provide water using maybe by gravity.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think we should go and see the other systems that you have,
Yeah.
and we talk about them in the after the break.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, we will take a short break, but when we come back, we will be talking about the other systems of soilless farming. Welcome back to Hela Mchangani. We are talking about soilless farming with Fred of Hydroponics Kenya, and he's just telling us about how to grow your crops without soil. And so we continue, and now we are at the strawberries area where you're growing your strawberries using rice husks. Yes, so tell us how you're growing them and what else you're using.
So here, this is our hydro wall. This is called a hydro wall.
Hydro wall.
Hydro wall.
Okay.
So you can use this system to grow different types of crops. As you can see, we have grown here strawberries, and with the strawberries, we have used these cups, as you can see. They are known as the hydro cups.
So you make them yourselves?
Yeah, we make them. We source and make them to farmers. Yeah, and we have used a different inert media. Here we have used the coconut pit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, coconut pit. We have mixed the coconut pit with the rice husk.
Okay.
Yeah, they are so fine, mainly to increase the aeration and maybe to provide good drainage for the crops. Yeah. And you find that with this system here, it is automated. We have got a tank there that water flows with the gravity, and it is able to provide each and every crop. Finally, the excess water won't go wasted. There's a reservoir here that will retain the excess water. You are able to water manually. That's why you find that the usage of water here is set at 90% less. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the comparison of using this one, the rice husk and the coconut pit, with the lava rocks? Can you compare?
So with the rice husk and coconut pit, we prefer to use to grow them using. We prefer using it to grow small seeded crops or the small sized crops.
Ah.
Yeah.
You can even do the herbs here.
Yeah.
The parsley.
In fact, initially we had here the herbs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say my strawberries would do well here compared to the farm?
In fact, they do well. Productivity is high. With the best variety, as you can see, this variety, the Chandra variety, produces highly. Yeah, the productivity here is high.
And the maturing period?
Maturity period here depends. Like for example, as we transplanted them 3 days ago, we can able to realize some of the fruits the fruit setting in a period of 1 to 1.5 months.
Any disadvantages of doing what you guys are doing with the whole hydroponic system? Any challenge?
So the challenges may be there. They are not there. The challenge will depend with the management of the farmer. There are other farmers who assume that hydroponics, once I do the hydroponics, everything will be okay. You have to manage your crops, look for them, water them, then find a solution.
All right.
Yeah.
Is it labor intensive?
Not labor intensive, because other systems are automated, and the only labor that you require maybe is to water the nutrient or to water your crop using the nutrient solutions only. The watering labor.
Okay. So for you, you don't put any fertilizer, any manure, it's just water and now this?
So this water, we have to use the hydroponics nutrient solution.
Oh, that has all those?
Yeah, has all the nutritional elements. And the hydroponics nutrient solutions, we make it here, we mix with the water and apply to our crops.
Wow. All right. So can we see what else you have as we go? Okay, so we have the trough system as well. Does it work the same as the other ones?
So you find that the trough system, you are able to provide a crop with a large rooting area. So you prefer using the trough system for large or heavy feeder crops, like the tomatoes and sukuma, and even the kales. You find that you are able to provide a crop with a large surface area for root anchorage and absorption. Yeah.
So you've done your tomatoes here. I'm always wanting to compare with, the farm because, the harvest should be a bit different, right?
Yeah.
And this one has a more good advantage, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what is the advantage compared to, going to the shamba?
So in terms of the growth rate, here tomatoes are able to reach maturity after 2.5 months. The growth rate is higher, as I mentioned earlier. And you find that the productivity for tomatoes here is higher. You are able to attain between 20 to 25 kgs of tomato fruits from the time you start harvesting your tomato plant till termination. And for example, this size of a greenhouse here can accommodate 400 tomato plants. Giving you 20 kgs per plant, you are able to harvest 8,000 kgs.
Wow. Yeah. So you're saying it can give me 400 plants?
You can grow here 400 tomato plants if you decide to invest in tomato plants only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the greenhouse is how big?
8 by 15 greenhouse. Okay. 8 meters by 15.
Now the tomato plant is a crop that is really usually affected by many diseases and a lot. So how about when you're using this type of system?
So tomatoes are mainly affected by a bacterial wilt in tomato, which is a chronic disease. There's no chemical control of bacterial wilt that can control it completely. Once it affects your greenhouse, you have to abandon that greenhouse. So with the soilless farming, you have completely avoided bacterial wilt in tomato. You can grow your crops in the same greenhouse for over even 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Without doing intercropping or any other control method.
Yeah. And this sukuma wiki is just on my face. It's very big. What made it grow this huge?
So as I mentioned earlier, the nutrient solution that we do water to our crops is usually in the simplest ionic form, readily used by the crops. So you find that the crop is able to meet its potential, its maximum genetic potential in terms of the growth and yield. And so you can see the growth rate and the size of even the sukuma. The leaves are huge.
And is it nutritious with this size?
Highly nutritious.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any crop can grow this big?
Any crop can grow. Even tomatoes that are usually tall, even 3 meters or to 4 meters high.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm sure of a good harvest at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And does it require a lot of labor here, like for the tomatoes?
The labor required here is only the watering labor, to water your crops early in the morning and maybe in the evening. Yeah, the management labor only. There's no land preparation, there's no weeding, there's no chemical, pest or disease control. Yeah.
The seedlings, you grow them yourself before you transfer them, or how does it work?
For the seedlings, we have to produce everything hydroponically because we have to avoid soil completely. Even the seedlings, there's a special nut media that is so fine that we use to produce our seedlings hydroponically. With that one, we are able to avoid the soil-borne pests or soil-borne diseases, transferring them from the soil into our troughs here.
Okay. Can you grow the seedlings? Can I get seedlings from you that you have grown hydroponically and then grow them in the farm, with the soil?
Here we produce seedlings under large scale.
Yeah.
We supply to farmers the tomato seedlings, lettuce seedlings, and other crop seedlings.
Yeah, they will still do well.
Yeah, they still do well.
Okay.
The only thing you have to avoid transferring seedlings from the soil into the hydroponic system.
All right.
Yeah.
So there's so much to talk about here. I would like to wrap up the show though, but I've seen you've also done the vertical system. Can you talk about that a bit?
So apart from vertical system, you have got another system known as the A-shape system,
where
you can maximize the utilization of the space as much as possible. In a given space, you are able to multiply the productivity 5 times higher. Yeah. It's another system apart from the vertical system. And also that, as you can see, that one is another A-shaped system, and that one. You can produce different types of crops using the verticals or the A-shaped system.
Now the vertical one, the one is so you're growing in the pipes. Are they the pipes? The plastic ones. You said you just throw the seed in there.
Yeah, we throw the seeds and there.
And then you put the nutrition.
So long as the seed can be able to retain or get nutrient solution and water,
Yes.
and some little anchoring, just shoots up and continue growing.
All right. But from the seedling,
Yeah.
from the nursery, your nursery,
Yeah.
do you take that and just put them here in the lava
Yeah,
rocks?
we just transfer them from the nursery seed bed to the main seed bed here.
Does it also work for the vertical ones?
Same.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can't just put a seed. You have to actually first.
It depends on the type of crop.
Oh,
There are other
the-
crops that you have to use as seedling. There are other crops that you can grow directly using a seed.
Which are the ones you don't need to do in the nursery? You can just throw the seed.
You have got the basil, you have got the celery, parsley, and even coriander. You can grow them directly.
Directly.
Yeah, using the seeds. But for crops like the lettuce, tomatoes, you have to use the seedlings, and even kales and spinach.
All right. Now, finally, what would you advise a farmer who would want to start this kind of system? Yes, what would you tell them? And to
So,
make money out of it?
What I can advise farmers is
Yes.
that hydroponics farming is a solution to high yield and short duration crop productivity. And even you can still produce your crops even without completely relying on rainfall. And in terms of the water usability is low. So initially you are able to realize that the cost of a production is lower. And basically hydroponics farming is our future for future farming in urban areas and even generally in Kenya and even in dryland areas. Yeah.
So you've said in urban areas, that means it's even easier for someone to actually do this if you're within.
With hydroponics farming, you
Yeah.
don't even require any space. Like you can still produce your crops on a wall using
a
the vertical
wall.
system, even
Yeah.
on rooftops. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. And in drylands, it doesn't require a lot of water. You can still produce your crops without relying on rainfall or a lot of water.
Yeah. If I may ask, how has the market been for the things that you're growing? Except I know you make your money from training people as well, but the market of the things that you're growing, is it good?
So basically here, we just grow crops for demo farms.
For demo.
To train farmers so that they can see that hydroponically it can still work.
Okay.
But for those farmers who are doing it,
Yes.
we usually advise them to target higher market prices in terms of the season and in terms of the market prices. Like for example, tomatoes, they fetch higher market prices starting from December to March. So you
Yes.
can advise they're able to fetch higher market prices even despite getting higher productivity.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Fred, for all that information. I'm sure it is a bit new to many people.
Yeah.
And of course, we would like to visit again and learn more.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us on this show.
Welcome.
So we have learned that we necessarily need not use soil to grow our crops. We can use other things like lava rocks, coconut peat and rice husks, among many other things. I have been your host, Diana Mbogwa. Do join me next time, same time, in a different location.